It has been 1 month since the earth swallowed 26th Street in Charles Village. Since then, the city's main priority has been trying to get the residents of that block right back in their homes. And the mayor told us today that goal is still on track.
Sometime in mid-June is when the city believes enough work will have been done to repair 26th Street and those folks will finally be able to go home again. But that, as it turns out, is just chapter 1 in a story that stretches back nearly 125 years.
Oh my God!
It's been exactly 1 month since the granite retaining wall gave way, pulling down a Charles Village streetscape. 1 month since the heavy rains washed away almost as many nerves as it did cars. Not nearly as dramatic, but still a feat in its own. Work has been nonstop on this block ever since. Giant machines drilling holes into the street and dropping steel beams for added support. A feat that this week came at a steep price.
On the Board of Estimates agenda was $18.5 million approved for repairs. You know, we had to do the temporary retaining wall and then the installation of the permanent repairs.
Which, while on time, needed an even more timely budget. The more than $18 million was approved to a contractor without a bidding process. An attempt, the mayor says, to make the area safe and return affected residents to their home as quickly as possible.
We are doing it in a way to do it as efficiently and effectively as possible so we can keep to the schedule. We had a goal of getting the families back in their house in 40 days, and we hope to keep to that schedule. We expect to.
But who will fit that near $20 million bill is still a daunting and complex question. Who is responsible, the railroad or the city? The answer is buried deep in books and documents that will literally fall apart as you touch them. With the help of the Baltimore City Archives, the B&O Railroad Museum, and here at the Maryland Historical Society, you're given a good place to start. The 26th Street Tunnel and open cut was built as part of the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad called the Beltline. The B&O built the Howard Street Tunnel and up the west side of the city, then cutting east along 26th Street to connect with another rail, a line the railroad said at that point it needed to be competitive. The ordinance was passed in May of 1890, and the work took about $7 million and 6 years to complete. Back then, Baltimore was growing, and the city wanted the railroad below the street level on the north end, creating 3 cut and short tunnels. Short tunnels spanned by open-air cuts. 26th Street, in the neighborhood then called Peabody Heights, was the middle of the 3. There's specific mention about 26th Street and the granite retaining wall the city wanted built, along with a decorative iron fence on top, a design you can still see today along other parts of this line. At one point, this area between St. Paul and Charles Street was to be a railroad station, but that was never built, leaving this below street level open-air pass for the railroad. But that was then. And this is now. Somewhere in between may be the answer as to who is to maintain and repair the infrastructure along this old line. But until the needle is found in this historical haystack, it's as if the city of Baltimore and now CSX are neighbors disputing over a property line drawn generations ago, an issue the mayor says is not unique to Baltimore.
You know, that's something that we've spoken about, making sure that we're taking a look at not just in our city, but this has brought other jurisdictions to that same question. CSX operates lines, you know, all over the country, and many people are taking a look at those things.
But back here in Baltimore, the mayor says she has a team digging into the city's past to see if they can find who would be responsible to pay for damages, and her administration is currently in negotiations with CSX.